have an organizational meeting for y'all's business?
Organizational meeting?
Yes.
Would you explain what you're? What is that?
We're organized.
Yes. When did you have your organizational meeting?
Can you explain what that means? Will you explain to them what you mean by an organization?
Set up the business, set up the bylaws of the business, elect the directors.
Did our directors have an organizational meeting? Did they elect the director?
How were the directors elected?
It's my wife, myself, and
These.
Y'all elected
Those three, that's
y'all
okay.
elected yourself,
The-
and
yes,
had
yes,
the organizational
yes.
meeting to set it up per the laws that-
right.
under which we are.
The minutes of the meeting whereby they were elected or part of the application and have been submitted to the.
So there were minutes from the annual meeting?
They're attached to the application, not annual.
There are no minutes for an annual meeting.
Annual meeting has not been, as the testimony shows, Mr. Holyfield and the directors took over the organization and became directors in September of '09. The business had very few members at that time. And in March of '09, when they opened, he is correct, there was not a meeting of the members at that time, other than those that existed. I will ask you some questions as soon as you're ready.
Written consent.
How do you
Consent
get
to what?
consent to them becoming a member?
What do you mean?
How did you get consent to them being a member of your business, of your nonprofit?
I don't.
Mr. Smith, that's not required. It's not required.
Actually,
For
per the
people that come,
organization.
no, when you come in the door with your driver's license, come in, you don't have to get the consent of the entire membership for somebody to come in. That matters in the end.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna actually per the Arkansas statute.
Okay.
Mr. Holyfield, per your bylaws, are you aware that y'all state in your bylaws that the directors be elected by the members? You aware of that?
Electors to be.
Per y'all's bylaws, the directors for the nonprofit corporation shall be elected by the members. Are you aware of that?
That's,
Once again, if you will look at the application and the record or minutes of the members and the directors in September '09, at which time the three current directors were elected. And that is part of the record.
September the 24th.
I think the minutes are part of the application.
10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. No, they will serve until their successors are elected.
Well, actually, per your bylaws here, amended and restated bylaws, does it not say you're gonna have an annual meeting March 15th of each year? Is that what it says?
That's correct.
And so this March 15th, when you should have had your meeting, you didn't have it.
Of the members, that's correct.
March 15, 2010 states that you shall hold a meeting of the members, and y'all did not do that.
we had,
No.
Can I make just an observation?
Yes.
Section 5.23 of the ABC regulations deals with resolution of internal matters of a licensed private club, nonprofit corporation. And it occurs to me that possibly where we're going here are internal matters of concern for the nonprofit corporation. That should, I mean, if somebody's got a gripe about the way that we're elected or something like that, it occurred to me that that would be a matter for the members. I mean, Paul, it could be all wet on this deal, I don't know, but that's a specific regulation in section 5123 is that the members and the board of directors take care of resolutions of internal matters of the licensed private club, and this is a licensed private club.
Yeah, Milton,
Yeah.
actually, to correct on that, in order for them to hold a private club permit, they must comply with all the Arkansas statutes governing a nonprofit corporation.
I understand that.
And they have wholly failed to do that by failing to hold annual meetings and to have the members actually participate in the annual meeting. And further, there was no notice provided for the March 15th meeting, meaning that this nonprofit corporation has failed to do what they're supposed to do.
Well, but let's go back and look at the time of application. That's what I'm interested in, the time of application. Were they a corporation? Were they an Arkansas corporation? Is there a filing at the Secretary of State's office? Did they in fact have 100 members? The board of directors was elected at that time. You know, what's gone on since they became a nonprofit corporation and a private club?
But it clearly states
I'm
in
not
there.
so concerned about that.
They're the ones that drafted their bylaws. They're the ones that have to operate per the bylaws. And
That's what
clearly,
I'm saying, if somebody is aggrieved at the way they're operating the nonprofit corporation, then that's an internal matter to be decided amongst the members and the board of directors, not by this agency.
I think that's an appealable error to, that they have not complied and performed, pursuant to the Arkansas Nonprofit Corporation, statutes, meaning they cannot hold the private club permit.
Obviously, we disagree.
Well, the director is here and he's raising his hand.
I don't believe that our position as the ABC would be that whether they're in good standing as a corporation or not is something to be determined by the courts, not by this. This group is not schooled in that, and that's not their decision. You can certainly put it on the record, but it's not going to be something. At the time of application, they were a nonprofit corporation in good standing, and nobody's taken any action, filed any action with the courts to dissolve it or to challenge that in any way, shape, or form. So at this current standing, it is considered.
And the ABC board's going to have to take a look at section 5.14 of the ABC regulations, as the chairman well knows and we talked about, and make a determination at the end of this hearing whether or not they think that this nonprofit corporation is actually qualified. And we'll get to that later. But Mr. Smith, of course, is free to make his argument. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, in order to be in good standing, a nonprofit corporation has to live, has to operate per the Arkansas statute setting out operations of a nonprofit corporation.
This board can't make the decision on whether it's in good standing or not. Secretary of State makes that decision, and the court can make that decision. This board can't make the decision on whether it's in good standing or not as a corporation, because it's not trained or schooled to do that.
When they're given the information, because y'all do have to make your decisions based on the law and legal precedent. And when you know of the
And
legal precedent.
do you have the precedent? Do you have
I have
the
it
case law?
right
Do you
here.
have the case law?
Yes. I have a copy of the statute for each board member, specifically annual and regular meetings.
So do you have the case law precedent?
433-701.
That's what
Is
the case.
Well, this is actual statute. This is government.
But my question to you was,
Yes, I have
it's
case
not,
law.
it's not their decision. It's not their decision. If it comes to us and it's in good standing, then it was in good standing. If it's fallen out of good standing since then, that's something you're gonna have to challenge.
That has to be determined at the Secretary of State's
That's
office.
correct.
That's always been the case as long as I've been here. We have deferred to the Secretary of State's office. We have deferred to our people to say whether the thing is legal or not.
We're not gonna defer to Mr. Bennett today.
Well-
We're gonna make that independent finding ourselves.
Well, we can, yeah.
I believe you have to make that
We do, and we're going to.
And then that'll allow you to appeal it if you
That way we won't get remanded back
That is-
into the board.
That is appealable error.
I would call the attention, if I could, to the commission, to the September 21, 2009 meeting of the members and board of directors, part of the application, saying that notice and consent of the members and directors, it indicates that pursuant to waiver of notice and consent of the members and directors, evidenced by their signatures at the conclusion of the minutes, which Holyfield, Mrs. Holyfield, Randy Garrison, and others were elected as director of this organization. So at the time that this board of directors took over this organization, there was a meeting of the members. It is true that the members have not, since the operation and holding of the private club, there has not been a meeting of the members. But it is Mr. Holyfield, it is your intention to comply and have a meeting of the members at some point in the future. Yes. At the time that you took over the organization, were there just a handful of members? Now there are many.
Mr. Smith, let me ask you a question. Are you, did I hear you say, or was I correct, maybe I'm not, that any time anyone becomes a member of the club, they walk in, produce their driver's license at the hundreds of private clubs and restaurants, whatever we have, that the entire membership has to vote on that person's membership? Is that what I heard you say?
Per their bylaws, the members are the ones that will vote on the election of the board of directors and election officers. It clearly states it in section 2.
But that's not the
No,
question.
That's not the question.
Well, and their members
Do
will participate in the
you,
regular
is
meeting.
it your contention that every time anybody walks into a private club and becomes a member, that the entire membership of that club has to vote on that particular individual? Is that what you said?
It depends on how your bylaws are set up, and it clearly states in their bylaws, section 2.
Let him finish, and then I want to hear what
If
you
it's Fuller, it clearly states here, section 2, article 2, regarding annual meeting of the members. An annual meeting of the members shall be held on March 15th of each year.
Okay, just a minute. All right, now let him.
Well, so a member would be anybody that you made application for.
Refer to section 1, last sentence of section 1 of the amended and restated bylaws. It says the corporation shall have one class of members. Additional members may be approved by any representative of the corporation designated by the board to do so. And I think the testimony has been that the directors have approved the managers and the assistant managers
To
approve-
make those decisions, as
to
it's
make
done
those
everywhere
decisions, as
else.
it's done everywhere.
But if you'll recall, I asked him, what does it take to become a member of this business?
But that's
He
what's
said
in
a
our
member
bylaws.
is someone that's 18 years of age.
Okay, thank you. I've got what I need.
I actually said one other thing, I said something about checking background.
But he also, Mr. Ellis, he stated that they had over 9,000 members.
And I think Mike's up in Conway has got 35,000, 40,000 now.
But Mr. Fuller, I'm not here arguing on that one. I'm arguing on this specific one, and they have to be governed by the bylaws that they've set up themselves.
Sounds like to me they're okay. Go ahead.
Holyfield, how many parking spots are y'all required to have for your business?
Required to have?
By the city ordinances?
If you don't know, say you don't.
Okay.
Well, I'll ask the question. If you take into consideration the parking that you have, and all the parking that you have under lease, how many parking spots would that give you?
Estimate.
A lot. More than.
How much, give a number.
Well, just right behind us that we're using there, that's 20 spaces for lease, and then I would say 10 along Cobblestone. And we have I mean, in the area around, we have.
Do you have 100? Do you have 150? What do you have? Your best estimate. I know you haven't been out there and counted.
We have that problems.
No?
Have you been challenged by the city at all about your
Not at
parking?
all.
Anybody come down here and talk to you?
In relationship to.
Well, since September, have you had any contact with your members? About anything, about participation in CASA, about participation in any of these other groups? Do they know?
I've gone to the members and talked about CASA.
Yes. Have you done
Sit
that?
down and ask them, what do you need me to talk about?
Have you
We
talked to
made a
them?
decision based upon this board and other people that we've talked to. We trust us, in our opinion.
Do the members know anything about CASA?
Yeah, we have
Which
actually
members?
things up there on
Which members?
Just the board of directors?
No.
Has the decision about CASA been communicated with the members in any fashion?
the. We actually have that. Our web press people are actually going to put a link on our website for them that you can click on. But you know, actually, it's,
When did y'all decide to do CASA?
oh, that was forward last year. We've been talking about CASA for a long time.
September? Was that something that you communicated to the members when you got your initial members?
You don't need, I mean, I don't know.
Okay? Did you communicate to your members about the scholarship in any fashion? Do any of your members know about the scholarship program? Who?
Does any of our members know about it?
Which members?
First page, I mean, it's, I don't know how that,
Is
a
it
lot of
just
the members are my friends.
just the
Trust me, my
director?
friends know about this stuff. I mean, this is stuff we do.
Well, have you had a newsletter? Do you have something posted on a memo board
On
anywhere?
the scholarship? Yeah, we have the scholarship for our employees and stuff like that, for them to
What
see
requirement,
about
what
the
requirement, is there any requirement that this young man in this business post that information anywhere? That's internal to business. The scholarships are going to the employees. Why on earth, other than to be nice, did the membership have to know about that, Mr. Smith? Is that something wrong?
Mr. Ford, just correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't a business have to exist and members have to be a part of something other than just a dining experience?
Well, I don't see any requirement though that you blast that out there if he talks to people on the phone or whatever. This is, I mean, we're dancing thousands of ballerinas on the head of the pin here, as we've heard many times before.
Well,
I don't
There's
understand.
gotta be some purpose
Yeah,
for
well,
the
the purpose,
nonprofit
the
corporation.
purpose exists. and
Other
he
than just
said
for the
what it is.
members to come in and drink
Yeah,
alcoholic
he said what it
beverages.
is.
And that's what he's saying.
Yeah, but he's
That's-
explained what the purpose
And that's what I'm
was.
asking, is that going on or not?
Testimony is in the record.
They did, but they just put it in the record.
And they
That
have become
scholarship
members
for
of an
goodness sakes.
organization that that the purpose of which is listed in the entertainment sheet. And the revenues you derive from the members and their guests, is that used for these nonprofit purposes?
How long does that purpose has to exist for a nonprofit corporation? Doesn't it have to exist for at least a year?
No.
How long?
Can exist for a day. So, at the creation.
So just one day?
I mean, I think part of your situation is, you have a situation where the membership back in September created something and chose these actions. People have come to be members to an existing organization, something that had already been decided, something that already exists. No changes have been deemed needed, necessary, or requested by any member. And you're sitting here asking him, well, have you done this? Have you done this? When I join an organization, just like if you joined a country club, you don't ask what that country club's been doing for all this time because it exists. I assume you belong to some fraternal organization or club and you haven't gone back and researched everything that they've done and what their policies and principles are to this day. So what has gone on is a situation. And as Mr. Fuller said, y'all are dancing around pins on a head. At the point in which the point at which they created an organization, they identified, not created, but at this point, whatever point they identified CASA, that could exist for a day and they could switch organizations. It can exist, they do have to have another function, and that is a continuing function. And apparently the testimony is it's a continuing function.
Just for my sake and for the record, can you tell me when your participation with CASA began?
Participate since beginning.
When would be, since September of '09? Okay. What about Northeast Arkansas Humane Society?
I mean, I've been talking with these people for over, the Humane Society we've been doing stuff with for 7 years. So this is people that we really.
Is it true though, the only donation you've got attached to your CASA exhibit is dated July 20th, 2010?
You can call her and ask her.
I'm just asking you.
Was that the only cash donation?
Cash donation?
What was your testimony relating to other things that you've been doing?
Yes.
Tell the commission.
Helping with the job situations for their kids.
I think you testified you gave free pizzas.
Yeah, we feed they have a training of volunteers that come in, that they handpick. This is Gordon, people that are very, very intelligent when it comes to this stuff. And I trust that, but I want to be able to provide for those meetings, and we give them food. Last time I think it was 5 pizzas, they had 15 people. We send some pizzas, she called us. She also knows that she can call upon me at any moment. You can call her and ask her this. She knows that if she needs help with anything, I'm here for her. I'm a supporter of hers. I trust her. I'm the man behind. We always have a public notice, but I mean, it's not, we don't.
Is it true you have not been keeping a secret from the members? What you have been doing with the funds that have been generated with the private club? Is it true that a great many of those members are fully aware of what you're doing? Is it also possibly that someone that had joined the club but has not been back may not be aware? But there's no secret being kept, and everyone that joins this organization understands that it's a nonprofit corporation.
Chairman, I might be out of line when I say this. Very front end, we talked about a little time, and we've pretty well ticked over the bylaws, so what I'd like to hear from the office is why anything that's been, since they've been operating, things that's been on.
Mr. Chairman, we did give the other side about 50 minutes, and Mr. Smith ought to have another 20.
Well, I'd just like to hear some, well, you know, the problems they're having.
My next witness,
Are you?
yes, sir.
You have some rebuttal?
Hey, Paul, are you done
Now, I would like to go ahead and publish these statutes that govern Arkansas nonprofit corporations.
Introduce them in other.
Yes,
Okay.
and specifically, we have introduced Arkansas ACA 433-129, 433-205, 433-205, 433-601, 433-611, 433-701, 433-705, 433-804, 433-805, 433-1002, 433-1003.
So no.
Yes.
That'll be opposition number one.
Okay.
Mr. Holmesy, have any of your members advised you in any way, they have objected in any way in the manner in which the private club is being run? All right. Is it your intention to hold annual meeting of the members not later than March 15th to 2018? At the time that you opened for business, is it correct that you did not have 9,000 members then? That you had much less? And how often does the board of directors meet? But and the board of directors meet often?
Yes.
And their purpose is it your intention, it's your intention to, in consultation with your attorneys, to operate your private club, your nonprofit private club, in a manner in which would allow the continued existence of this private club? Yes. You had indicated, as far as becoming a member, he asked who would have to consent to be a member. Is it not that members apply and the club would have to make a determination whether or not they are a member or not? And you're not required other members to consent to them becoming a member. That's all I have.
Do you have any additional questions for that testimony? Does the board have any questions?
All those, did you present,
Statutes, I gave them to you earlier.
Oh,
Mr. Hester, proceed, please.
I'm down to my last copy.
no, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm right here. I didn't know that. I appreciate it.
I think everybody here knows Bobby Hester. We'll be calling Bobby next week.
Okay, what you saying?
Well, why don't you say,
Okay, I'm not history.
and where do you live, Mr. Hester?
You were sworn in early, correct? Mr. Hester,
Well, yeah, you know, when this application was filed, why did you not raise, or why was the objection not raised at that time?
he objected early.
Yeah, I did. They just kept, I forget when it was done, it was kept postponed. And then the last time,
It was postponed at the request of Chief.
You did not object until after the permit was granted. You did not object, that's why he's asking you is why didn't you object before the permit was granted?
because I guess I didn't know that.
Did you object as soon as you found out about it?
I found out, and got good,
Okay.
One thing I want to correct is that this matter has been scheduled to be heard in May and continued, I think, at the request of the attorney. And it was going to schedule it in June, and I think it was continued at the request of the attorney.
Okay. I think we only continued once, is that correct?
That's all right.
Mr. Hester was
My
the
question's been asked and answered. Go ahead.
Mr. Hester, you've got numerous concerns in addition to the points I've raised so far in regards to this permit. Is that correct? Okay. And can you please tell the board what your first objection is?
Oh, pardon? Well,
Do you have concerns about the parking?
yeah, yes, I do.
Okay. And do you have any documentation here to support your? Are you going to talk about parking or?
I apologize for y'all having put up with me so much. Pastor Adrian Rogers was supposed to be here this morning to do some of this, and he thought there was going to be at the hospital. And so he was able to make it so sorry about that.
I'm going to pass these out as you hand them to me, and I'll let you go ahead and start talking about them while I'm passing them out. The first thing you want to talk about here, Mr. Hester, is 17 pictures that you've taken. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I promise you, I will.
Does this have to do with the parking?
Yes.
Okay.
Before you go into this, were you aware that he had all this parking under lease?
No, I did not.
Does that change your position?
Well, I'll just give this,
You know, if
no,
And
not
now
me.
that you know that he has all this parking, if this isn't a concern.
Yeah, this is still a concern. I'll explain.
Okay, explain it to me.
Okay, he may have sufficient parking. I'm not saying he does not at this point.
Oh, thank you.
There's 45 parking spaces. He's doing good business, real good business. And, that's more than his parking can handle. And, he's got 45 parking spaces there in his parking building, his building now. But his problem is, many are parking on the front page cafe parking. And they're also crossing over that property, big time. Most of them cross over that property, most of these customers have to come in there now. And then, yeah, this was taken, these
Are they
pictures.
crossing illegally?
Have they objected to that, Bob?
Well, we have a letter here from the property owner.
They're objecting?
Yeah, well, I'll get to it in a minute.
Okay.
I'll get to
It's not a
the
street,
right
though.
No,
This is just parking lot.
yes, parking lot.
It's not a street.
Well, not one, it's got parking spaces.
Okay.
You know, these 17 pictures are taken from July 16th from 7 until 8:30, 7 until 8:30 an hour. And I observed, and these pictures I took, and these people walk across, they're walking to the left, they're walking from Uppercrust Pizza, and they're walking right towards,
Okay.
in the opposite way they're going into the restaurant. And so, it's we all say about that. And then on the, this shows the parking, like what you said, the building there, and they mentioned parking at the bowling alley. They had a tournament at the bowling alley the other day, and they did not have sufficient parking to the bowling alley. They was having trouble finding places to park. I don't know, some Uppercrust Pizza people would already parked there, I'm not sure, but I just know that when I was there, they would come in and they were actually, I think some of them may have parked over on the top of the business next door. And, so they definitely do not have sufficient parking for the amount of customers they have. And they are, most of them go across.
How many parking spaces would you say that needed to be sufficient?
I don't know.
Well, you made the statement that didn't have enough. You need to know how many they need.
More than what they got, that's all I know, because they're parking, they are parking over on, I mean, on the There was, in just 1 hour, he right here, that's all I know, he's 17.
Do you remember what he testified to on these things?
I think he said that, I don't remember exactly.
He
No,
said,
no,
I think he said 100.
Mr. Hester, have you spoken, with the Jonesboro traffic engineers, and people, have you talked to any of them about massive problems they're having down there?
Mr. Fuller, Mr. Fuller, I'm gonna call, Gerald Barker, he's back here.
Is it,
He can speak to
he is
that.
the traffic engineer?
No, he spoke, he
Okay.
spoke with them, and I believe he is.
That'll be fine. I'd like to hear that.
Bring him up.
I need to hear that.
Yes, sir.
So during this hour, these people walking across here, parked on the, I think about my name, front page, I wanna say the front page cafe. That's what they're doing, they're traveling in between the two businesses. And so, but I don't have a clue really how many they would have to have, but I think quite a few more than what they've got.
But,
It's just my opinion, I mean.
but Bob, what difference does it make where they park, Mr. Hester?
Okay, but just go ahead and read this letter, this guy that reads this letter.
What's your next,
What
what do you got?
These are, letters from opposition, businesses.
These are neighbors around the business?
This guy owns
Well, this
property.
Hey, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, this, the problem one is the one I'm gonna reference, but you'll need these others anyway, so.
I don't know, I had some notes here, I just got, there's no complaints from commercial neighbors. I mean,
That's what they said.
I know, I was just saying what,
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
This,
This is Richard.
There, we go, Investment in Construction Corporation is the owner of the property that front page.
You need to give a copy of this,
Yes.
I need to get a copy.
Well, hang on. Sorry about that. On the property, front page is okay now. And I'm just, I'll
Okay.
let y'all read it. Yes.
Okay?
And the other 5 letters behind that are other property, or business owners about that on the property of the business located near. There's not that many businesses there. Are they not?
No, this guy's no longer in the neighborhood.
Well, I'll explain. LJ Bryant, he was, yeah, with Jackson.
I know where LJ is.
Is that the
Yeah,
land
good-
commission?
Good man, good man. Hope he gets the job. He was in the, Jackson Hewitt, tax preparation service. He was in the building, like if you're facing the building, the front page place was in the middle, and he was left. And, he wrote this letter early on, and then he has since moved out. And why he moved out, I'll just let y'all come to that. But I don't know, that's why he moved out, oh shit, out there.
Okay.
So he did that. And then to,
Okay, well, Mr. Holyfield, in regards to this letter from Phillips Investment Construction about the parking at the front page of Fay, have they, I can't read what this fellow's name is on this letter. Anyway, has someone from Phillips contacted you about a problem with parking?
No.
Have they addressed this, Mr. Hester, with the city of Jonesboro?
I don't know. Do you see her? The individual and the businesses, I don't know.
Don't know you?
Well, are they aware of his leases he has for 3 different people?
I don't know how long they've had releases, this has been going on for a while.
Looks like he's specifically complaining about them parking on his spots.
And they me, like,
Did you seek this letter?
did I see, no,
How did it get to you?
I did.
Okay, I'll ask you when you get up here.
Okay. What about that Bait Mismo company? Do they have some complaints there in their letter?
I was just concerned about people who place not parking on the spot, turning around the driveway, swinging across the road.
Well, Bob, this guy also references picking up trash going on to his property. Has anybody talked to you about trash?
No, we actually pick up the surrounding areas. We do it every morning. I mean, it's just something we have agreed with bowling alley, cobblestone.
Well, a lot of these letters use the bowling alley pretty loosely in a lot of their letters, that there's gonna be a lot more problems with your place because the bowling alley is next door,
Bowling alley is
wherever it
great
is.
friends with
the agreements were signed today.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think if the bowling alley didn't want you around, they would not agree to it. Huh.
Well, actually, that's property
Okay.
What other property owners do you have there? Can you identify all the property owners around there that have problems?
Well, there's 6 total that are in opposition to it.
Do you have a map of the businesses showing where they're located at?
No, I don't. But I can, they're right down that Shelby Drive, just right behind here, and across over here, on both sides of the street.
In close proximity.
Yeah, yeah.
Couple,
that's-
a few blocks.
Can you?
Yeah, that's-
Okay. You can bring copies of this?
I didn't know.
I apologize that Mr. Smith didn't make sufficient copies of these, and I'll circulate it from here.
Thanks, sir. Okay.
You want
Can you explain to them where these businesses are located in conjunction with the,
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Which is 1 and 2, well, that's the parking lot of Uppercrust PT2. So those buildings would be like 5,